Now, the High Council on Climate is an independent body that advises the French government on environmental policies like reducing France's greenhouse gas emissions. In the Council's annual report that was published on Thursday, it warns of the major risks of not achieving the objectives for 2030. The Council that was created by French President Emmanuel Macron has stressed that states' response to climate crisis is insufficient. Climate change is making its growing impacts felt in France with an increase in heat waves, droughts or extreme rain. The message conveyed by the report is that while France is progressing on climate action, it can and must do better.
We are now seeing a drop in emissions in all the emitting sectors. So the level of the drop is not yet on the trajectory needed to get to 2030. But we are still seeing developments. There are structural drops, well established in certain emitting sectors, buildings, industry, energy, which must accelerate.
Now, the report mentions that in the context of war in Ukraine, it has become even more important to succeed in reducing France's strong dependence on imports of fossil fuels and mineral fertilizers. While France is committed to reducing its emissions by 40% by 2030 compared to 1990, the first carbon budget of 2015 to 2018 has been exceeded. And the government has raised the ceiling for 2019 to 2023, effectively postponing the effort to be made.
If we stay on this trajectory, we will of course not reach the 2030 objective at all. The reduction in emissions would have to double, more than double in fact, over the remaining period until 2030 to reach between 4 and 5% of reduction in emissions per year.
Now, Macron has pushed a green economy, proposing to build 50 offshore wind farms by 2030 and 6 new nuclear reactors. The French president has admitted that France would need to go twice as fast to respect the Paris Climate Change Agreement. While the High Council of Climate's report focuses on France, climate change has consequences for everyone. Global climate change has already had observable effects on the environment. Glaciers have shrunk, ice on rivers and lakes is breaking up. Earlier, plant and animal ranges have shifted and trees are flowering sooner. Scientists have high confidence that global temperatures will continue to rise for decades to come, largely due to greenhouse gases produced by human activity. Emissions need to fall by 7.6% each year over the next decade if the world is to get back on track towards the goal of limiting temperature rises to close to 1.5 degrees Celsius. Now, according to the IPCC, the world is on track for more than 3.2 degrees Celsius warming this century. That would be within the lifetime of the present generation. According to scientists, without urgent global climate action, the future will be characterized by severe suffering. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.